Next, we're going to be hearing from Tina Hovsepian. She's the founder of Cardborigami, Inc. She's a designer and philanthropist, and she designs contemporary sustainable homes in Santa Monica for Duvivier Architects. She started a non-profit while pursuing her career in architecture. So now we're going to hear from Tina on Cardborigami Instant Space.
Hi, my name's Tina, and I'm here to share with you an idea I have about a portable shelter that I've called Cardborigami. My inspiration stemmed from growing in LA and seeing the homeless population on a daily basis. My goal is to bring attention to the homeless situation that has been ignored through design. As I began designing my portable shelter, I did a lot of research on different materials, and it turns out that cardboard is actually the ideal material for a portable shelter. It is structural, insulated, and can be waterproofed while still being recyclable. My goal was to create one skin that would open and create instant space with no assembly required. To do so, I began to study origami, the ancient Japanese art of paper folding, and this was the final structure I came up with. So cardboard plus origami is how I came up with the name Cardborigami. For disaster relief, it is an ideal shelter because it can be immediately opened and used. It can be deployed as a trailer to any site and opened for immediate community shelter. After the community settles, they can detach portions of the shelter and use it for individual housing. I actually created a prototype of this, which I will show you, and it costs around $4 per square feet to make 400 square feet of space. This is a full-scale prototype that I built to see if it would work. The prototype that I built was 2 feet when closed, and you could open it up to 40 feet, which is about 2,000% increase in space. And here are some pictures of the opening sequence. As you can see, it took a few people less than a minute to create 400 square feet of space. Here are some pictures of the prototype opened. After creating this prototype, I decided to go back to my initial inspiration of helping the homeless, and I designed a second version that was smaller and more portable. It is intended to be a backpack, and it can be opened and closed in less than a minute. Here's the prototype of the smaller scale unit. And now I'll be showing a video that shows how it opens and closes in less than a minute. The advantages to this over a tent or other shelters that are out there is that, like I said, it is already insulated and more structural, and obviously, as you can see, there's no assembly required after they are produced. And one can open and close the unit in less than a minute. They weigh about 10 pounds, so it's very easy to carry. They're lightweight. They will be treated to be waterproof and flame retardant. And there will be a casing for them that would make them a backpack. The dimensions are about 4 inches wide, 3.5 feet tall by about 2.5 feet this way. So it would be like the size of a large camping backpack. And this creates the portability that would be more useful for the homeless situation. So after we designed and built the prototype, we took it to the streets to get some feedback from the people on Skid Row, just in downtown. Before we went out, we did some research, and the most current facts are that in the Los Angeles County, the total homeless count is 51,340, and only 38% are sheltered. As you can see in this map as well, there are many different locations in the Skid Row area that people can go get aid. However, they really don't like the shelters. They're horrible conditions, and they just would rather be on the streets. So this is our first outreach. We got a lot of positive feedback. People were really happy about it. They were so happy they wanted to take pictures with it. And we did a lot of surveys and got some quantitative research done. 64% agree that they could easily carry around the Cardborigami with absolute ease. 86% felt comfortable using the shelter where others also had the unit. 98% agree that the shelter is better than where they live currently. 90% felt they would be protected from outside elements, such as heat, cold, wind, and rain. 76% said that the sense of privacy and shelter would make them feel better about themselves. And 82% agreed that the shelter is absolutely innovative and aesthetically pleasing. So we took it to the streets again a few months later to get more research and feedback. And this time the results were not as positive. However, we learned a lot about these people and got to know them, and that these shelters were not something that we were just going to give out and in order to encourage life on the streets. So after this trip, well, he's Earl, he actually wanted to keep a unit, but we couldn't let him have it. But after this particular trip, we learned a lot. One particular person said, everyone is treated horribly in shelters, and if one person messes up, everyone suffers. The only difference is that no one has each other's back. He's comparing shelters to being in the army, and he said that in the army, at least everyone has each other's back, but in the shelters, it's totally the opposite, and there was like, everyone's on their own. Another person, Earl, also did not like shelters, and he thought we were crazy for trying to help people and wanted to just kill everyone as he motioned with his fingers like a gun. He said, I'd rather kill everyone on the streets. So that was the type of feedback we got. And finally, someone said that Cardborigami was a slap in the face to the homeless population. I tried to explain that it was only part of a program that would eventually help to place people into permanent housing. And he asked how long that would take, and I had no answer. So that's why I continued to work on it and do some more research and try to figure out a business plan in order to implement these shelters and actually be able to help the homeless population. And I would like to open an outreach center where people could come in, build and create their own unit, and be placed in a program that would get them the help they need to get back into permanent housing and society. So I'm here today, I have a booth, and I'm here just to inspire everyone. I know there's a lot of architects and designers here, and I just like to say that we have, all these skills and abilities to help and come up with new ideas for problems. So I just encourage everyone to kind of focus more on social design and regenerate the world with design. Thank you.